Hello, Merry Meet. So, I want to review an Oracle deck. The last review I did was a bit of a gag deck, so let's do a proper one this time. And it is Divine Circus Oracle by Alana Fairchild. It's published by Blue Angel. It seems like Alana Fairchild is just spewing out these decks. And then I get a little bit skeptical, but I sort of picked up this one on a whim anyway. And it isn't the kind of thing I would usually pick up because I'm not really drawn to the whole circus theme, clowns, trapezes, and all of that. It's not really my thing, but I thought I would give this one a try. Now, this is an Oracle deck, not a tarot, and as such, the Little White Book is paramount. Because, as I always say in these reviews, with tarot, if the Little White Book doesn't work, then you can always just buy a book or search up information online. With an Oracle deck, the only bit of information that are usually available are what comes with the cards. We look at that first. At the very first, though, let me say that the box is very nice. It is highly glossy. There are some pictures of the cards, and it is of fairly hard cardboard. This should last you for a while, and it's not too tight so that it's not difficult to get up. That's what he said. It's not difficult to get the top off, but it's not so loose that it will just fall off either. So, let's begin with the book. Looks like this. And it has a content listing. So first it goes through all the cards. And then it has about the author, about the Divine Circus, and artwork and index. And some adverts about other things that are available from Blue Angel Publishing. So you have an introduction that just talks about the deck and how to use it, which is pretty standard for every Oracle deck. Basically, you can either do divinations with them where you lay them out in spreads, or you do a daily card thing where you draw one, you shuffle them, you draw one card, and that's a sort of the inspirational words for that day or that situation. So, we have a couple of layouts which I like. They are unique for this deck, which I really like. That is a reason I buy all of these, because I collect layouts. So we have clown nose. That was where they started. And flying trapeze. Bearded lady. And that is it, basically. There's also a little bit about the author and such in here. The layouts are pretty good. They are simple and they are suitable for these kinds of Oracle cards, so that works. The cards get 2 pages, and I do like that there's just a tiny picture of the card in the corner. Very often in these books, you get a huge picture of the card, and so that there's very little text left. But here you actually have quite a bit of text. And that is basically for all of them. And then you have some adverts in the back. That's not so important. An index over the artworks. About the Divine Circus and about the author. That's it. This guidebook does its job. I mean, it's a relatively small book, but it will contain the information that you need to read with this deck. I am pleased with it. It works. So, let's move on to the cards. They are your typical, fairly large-sized Oracle cards, and they are extremely glossy. Look at this. They are glossy in the extreme. They are not to be this glossy. They don't stick a lot to one another, but they still. I would still recommend just putting on a movie and just sitting there and shuffling for a while, so that you scratch them up a little bit. That will make your life a lot easier when dealing with these. As you can see, the cards are. Some of them are. Here's another one of that. Photographs that has been drawn through Photoshop, like these ones, and some are drawings. I don't like that. I tend to prefer drawings for my divination decks, but there's some beautiful decks out there that are based on photographs that are then photoshopped. Let me just adjust the camera just a little bit. There we go. But when they combine them, I have yet to see a result that's really good, because I sort of when they change up the art style within a deck, it's very easy, especially when you have a layout where you have several cards after one another. It is very easy to just get distracted when you have different forms of art styles. There are several of these cards that I'm not so impressed by. Let's have an example here. What on earth is this supposed to tell you? I mean, yes, there are a card meaning that's in the book, but this doesn't really tell you anything. It's just a woman with goggles and red hair. It doesn't say anything. There's no symbolism there. There's nothing. It's nada. It's just a face. There's basically nothing for your intuition to grab hold of. Some of these images are quite pretty, but they don't really do anything. They just basically, like they said, well, do some pretty pictures, make them in a sort of gothic carnival style, and we'll throw them on an oracle deck. And that doesn't look like, here, this is a good card. You can feel yourself be drawn into that landscape. You can imagine, what is she thinking? What is this card telling me? This is a good oracle card. This one's pretty good too, with, if I can, because two of them are glued together. To me, there are some good ones in here, but many of them are just... This one's not bad either. But then you have here where we basically are back to a face. And so the cards are very hit and miss, and they change style constantly. So it just feels sort of jumbled together. It does not feel like this was made to be a divination tool. It feels like these are just random artworks that are then thrown into a deck. That's what it feels like. And yes, sure, you memorize those meanings. You memorize those meanings and link it to these cards, and you can do divinations with that. You can do divinations with anything that can give you a random result. You can attune to the idea of drawing a card and reading a meaning to it. But I feel that a divination deck should be more than that, because if that's all you need to do, and just put some numbers on a piece of on some pieces of paper, put that in a bowl, shake it up a bit, draw one of those each day, and just have a meaning attached to each number you draw, and you'll have just the same. So yeah, this one is a good one. You can see how you can be drawn into that face, into that to have a meaning with it, but it's really hit and miss. And yeah, it's the cards are very good quality. I cannot complain in any way, shape, or form with the quality of these cards, and the artworks are nice, but they just don't fit together. They don't form a complete whole, and a lot of them just don't have anything for your intuition to attach to. They're just pretty images on a card. So this feels more like an artwork collection than it do a divination deck. So unless you look at these cards here in this video or on the internet, wherever you are looking at these cards, and you're thinking, oh yes, I'm connecting to that, boom, I can't really recommend this. If what you're looking for are some nice semi-gothic images with a carnival and clown theme, then you will get some pretty nice images here. But if what you are looking for are something that will be a good divination tool, this is just too jumbled and too hit and miss for me to recommend it. I cannot imagine using it for divination a lot. The deck has, is it 40 or 48 cards? It's 44 cards. I was wrong on both guesses, but yes. Many of these have around 40 on their cards. This is the back of it. It is not reversible, which is a shame if you want to add reversals into your divination cards, which a lot of people do. We only have a few cards left, so let me show you them to you. Here's a boob. We better cover the nipple because violence, okay. Horror movies, perfect. A perfectly healthy nipple, oh no. So, and that's the last card. What do I have to say about this? Well, the deck is beautiful. There's lots of beautiful images in here. It's well made. The cards are fairly easy to handle, despite their size. The little white book is good. The images uses too many different art styles, including mixing photographs and drawings, which just, at least for me, does not work. And some of them just lack any kind of symbolism whatsoever. It's just basically random images drawn on a card. So I'll give this 6 out of 10. It's a very good attempt, but it doesn't feel like a cohesive whole. And there's just so many other divination cards out there that are better than this. So unless, like I said, you're looking at this and thinking, oh, I'm really connecting to those cards, then I wouldn't really recommend this. Perhaps if you can find it in a bargain bin for just a few dollars, it can be an interesting addition to your collection, because it is fairly rare to find these that are not based on angels, fairies, dolphins, and the like. So when you get something a little bit different, that can be nice. But other than that, I can't recommend it because it's too jumbled, which is a shame because it has really high production quality and basically everything else about it is excellent. So yeah, that is my review of Divine Circus Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Have a great day and blessed be.